today. All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Earnestly podcast here with my two compadres, Zack, the Degenerate, and Krizmanic. Kris, we need to give you a name, a nickname or something.
Oh,
what do you think? What do you think? You up for that?
No, I will figure something out.
The Hawaiian professor? I don't know. Zack, what do you think?
I got no clue for the man. No clue what to call.
Well, think about it. We have all fucking you know.
Look, you're chocolate. He's vanilla and the caramel. You know.
I'm caramel too, actually. We're technically the same color.
Fuck up.
Mocha
at best, bro.
I've been told I'm caramel. I've been told that best.
Do you know colors? Who lied to you? Your mom?
Your kids maybe are.
No, I've been told I'm caramel.
Yeah,
am I too dark
as fuck?
You're saying I'm too dark for caramel?
Yes, unless it's burnt.
What do I tell you every birthday?
Chocolate bear.
Exactly. That's a Scrubs reference, but still.
Well, because I'm also Turkleton. I don't think Zack gets that, to be honest. I don't know if he watches Scrubs though.
Yeah, I think I started watching it before and quit before you even started.
Oh,
that's the thing. Like, I discovered these shows before you guys, and by the time you guys catch on, it's like
no, that's a really good one.
That's a good show.
We will not accept Scrub slander on this.
Right,
podcast.
Exactly. No, although to be honest, my wife got me into that show though, like much later. Like, say, I think by season 5 and 6, I got into that show.
Yeah.
So
exactly, you're always late to the party, buddy.
Not always. Some things, not always though. So, anyway, NBA Finals, tied up a piece. Game 3 is tomorrow as we're recording. Early thoughts on the series? So I feel like I haven't learned anything about the series yet. I feel like, okay, we got the game 1 anomaly in the fourth quarter from Boston. You know, game 2 course correction. Al Horford goes from 26 points and 6 3-pointers to not even hitting a single point. I mean, like this fucking series is so weird already, man. Like I feel like we've learned nothing so far.
Oh, we've learned one thing.
What's that?
Curry has no help right now.
That's crazy.
Absolutely no help. I mean, not even Jordan Poole can make a shot from outside of 10 feet anymore. He's too scared to even make a shot. If he's not driving to the hoop, that's it. He's a waste of space like Draymond on the court right now.
How bad's Clay in the series too? Oh my God.
Oh, he's got the yips. Another guy's scared to take a shot.
Really?
Because
it just could be
falling short because he can't launch. He's twitching.
Well, I mean, if you're coming back from that long of a layoff, and this might just be hitting his wall right now. But the craziest anomaly of game 1 is when you have a team that's rested and a team that's coming off of game 7. Generally, that's the game they steal because one's rusty and one's coming off like the adrenaline rush and they just go right into the new series.
Correct.
But the crazy thing was they were trailing the entire game.
Right.
And pretty much Boston, I can't recall any of the games where they really came back and stole one or good. They've given away so many games with sloppy late game execution. So for them to not only come back, but to dominate the fourth quarter the way they did was very different from the rest of their way. Every game they've won so far this postseason pretty much in wire to wire. So for them to actually come back and show something and show late game, execution was impressive to see. Now I'll say it'll go 6 games now, but at the end of the day, you could see how bad Golden State played in game 2 and still won by
19. Yeah, it was weird. Like you look at that stat line, for example. Look at Jason Tatum's stat line in game 2. He has 28 points, right? 28 points, goes 6 of 9 from 3, and yet he's a minus 37.
That's because he made all his shots in the first quarter, practically. Mm-hmm. Like he was ice cold game 1. Jaylen Brown was ice cold game 1 until the fourth quarter, and then Tatum has got hot for 1 quarter. Other than that, I have seen nothing from the Celtics. The reason why I still believe the reason why the Warriors lost game 1 was the way in which Steve Kerr managed Curry's minutes. You kept him out for 6 minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, he kept saying that.
And allowed Boston to come back. Then you kept, after they built the lead in the third quarter, you kept them out for 4 minutes as they closed the gap again before you brought them in.
I mean, how unlikely that they go another like 5 minute stretch without scoring a single point in any quarter, let alone the fourth quarter. So they pretty much just gave that. And I won't even say that was stellar Boston defense that really did it. It wasn't even that at all. It was just them just not making shots.
Yeah, a combination of Boston going. Again, it was a big anomaly, like 9 for 9 in the fourth quarter from 3, and then 16 points for the Warriors in the fourth, 40 from Boston. And after game one, I'm telling everybody's, oh no, the Celtics gonna win the series. I'm like, dude, calm down. There's a lot of anomalies here. Let's course correct here. You're not gonna see 21 points in the game again. You may see 13 to 15, not 21 points, 23 points in the game again in a game like that. That's just shocking. And then we saw in game 2, like, yeah, they got 15 3-pointers, a lot of that in garbage time though, but I think I had Warriors in 6 originally. I think Boston can still push the series to 7, but I think it's clear that Golden State is probably the better team, I guess, but
they really shouldn't be. Clay can't score. Draymond's has never been considered a scorer. His defense is down. Clay can't play defense like he does. When you looked up at the matchups, the only people who thought Golden State was going to win was Vegas because of the betting lines. The NBA forecasters had Boston has an 86% chance of winning.
Which is strange because I thought everybody had the Warriors.
Only Vegas, because they know what the betting public would do.
Right.
You can see it with both teams. If both teams are playing a B game, Golden State's going to win the game. You need Boston to play an A+ game, and Golden State to come in at like a C.
Right.
Boston to really win a game. So I don't see much more than one more game for Boston going their way.
Well, I think they split next 2 games in Boston. I think game 5 again is going to be where we start seeing the rubber meets the road kind of thing, and we'll start seeing that separation, I guess.
And I also think it is big that Marcus Smart's foot's just not right.
Yeah, he can't chase Clay or Steph around.
It's clear his
foot's but Clay keeps missing shots, so that's a break he gets there. Because Clay's been bad. Oh my God. And the thing is too, also they need, if Clay's gonna have, look, again, this is the value of Jordan Poole. Like, okay, Clay can have those off games, but if Jordan Poole is making up the difference, cool. Jordan Poole had a good game. Right. Jordan Poole had a bad game 1, had an okay game 2, but is Jordan Poole does he have the yips also too? I don't know.
Right now, their best second option on offense is Looney. And that's really bad when your center who gets 20 to 25 minutes is your second best scorer.
No, it's just the system works. The ball moves there where it just goes to where it needs to go. And that's the definition of how pure their offensive game plan is. It's just the ball moves to where it needs to go, and it always finds the right home.
Right. So
and if they get bailed out, you have pure of shooters in ever to bail you out just in case you take a tough shot.
Right. So let's start here then. Steph Curry, obviously, the big narrative of the series, outside the teams, of course, is the legacy of Steph Curry. I said this on my podcast a week ago that he wins the finals. That's 4. Caveat with an MVP. I believe he's entering a top 10 discussion. I'm not saying he's in the top 10 discussion, but he's definitely knocking on the door. In my opinion, you have a chance to record last week because of personal reasons here at home with the kids and stuff. Ask you guys now. Steph Curry wins the series. Steph Curry MVP of the series as well. And which right now, if they win the series now the way it's going, he's got to be MVP this time. Is he knocking on the door in the top 10, Zach?
Absolutely. I almost want to go last just because I know you guys don't want to admit it. But 4 rings.
I didn't say anything.
4 rings when you were twice the team leader taking the team. Honestly, you couldn't make an argument to keep him out of the top 10 at this point.
I guess the question is going to be who you take out. That's the question. Who you take out of that 10?
I think Tim Duncan.
Ooh, really?
At best, Tim Duncan is the 6th greatest big man in history. Are you really going to put the 6th best in the top 10 and keep the greatest shooter and what will now become the greatest point guard in NBA history?
Well, I guess it depends on how your top 10 looks. Like, because to me, Duncan's number 7 in my top 10 all time. So I mean, you have Duncan at 10. That's one thing. I can understand that, but I got number 7 on my list. So it depends on how we look at our list as a totality. Kris, what do you stand on the Curry narrative if he wins this MVP?
Impact on the game itself ranks up there all time. He has changed the game forever. But yeah, it's gonna be a while till he cracks anywhere near top 10 all time.
So what is keeping him out?
That's the thing I understand though. That's the thing I understand though, Kris. What's it gonna take for him to get there? Because we say rings. Well, now that's ring 4. That's 2 without Durant. What's it gonna take to crack? This is not Robert Horry here we're talking about here. This is Steph Curry.
Yeah, he's the team leader. He's the engine. The defense of every team focuses on him. Even with Durant there, they focused on him.
Yeah, we can also say on the other side of the ball, their offense focuses on him as well.
Yeah, and that's why he gets the credit. 4 championships coming up, 2 without Durant, which you want to put ahead of Curry, which makes no sense to me.
All time, no, I would not. But
no, I have Curry. I have Curry and Durant at this point.
On those teams, he was the best player on those teams. It's undoubtable.
The defenses were geared towards Curry.
I think we can agree that Kevin Durant's a better player, better talent. But I still put hold on. But I would still put Curry ahead of him.
Yes, 100%.
Telling me shit, me.
Okay.
Harold Minor's talented. Doesn't matter.
First, tell me what Durant does better than Curry.
Well, he's better.
He's
a better defender. He's a better defender than Curry. He is better. And look, Curry has an advantage.
Another level.
Well, Durant has an advantage because Durant's 6'10", 6'11". Okay, that's what it is.
Better.
But most talent doesn't mean you go higher my list. Like there are guys in the 30s who are more talented than Steph Curry, and they're nowhere close to the fucking list.
No, it just
hurts
Curry's legacy that he wasn't the best player as so far in the majority of his rings. He was not the best player on the team.
The best player in the first championship.
But that ends if he wins this title. That ends.
Well, now it's 50-50, yeah.
Right. His second chance, he got robbed because of a suspension and injuries. Right? You give LeBron all the credit in the world when he didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie.
I gotta side with Zack here, man. I gotta side with Zack on this argument, honestly. Now the thing is, I don't know if the thing from me now is like, okay, so the only issue is like, let's say it does happen, and obviously we'll revisit this when the series is over. It does happen. He wins MVP. He also wins the title. Okay, so I guess for me is who am I going to take out? So my top 10 looks like this. It's Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Wilt, Russell, Duncan, Kobe, Bird, and Shaq. Shaq and Elijah won a 10A, 10B kind of sort of. Year to year go back and forth. Shaq's number 10, Elijah number 11.
And I would put Shaq and Olajuwon, when I'm talking big men, ahead of Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan wasn't a legit power forward. Okay, he was a power forward when, David Robinson was there for a couple of years? He played center.
I don't think that matters. He's top 10 player regardless. He could play point guard. Doesn't matter. I don't give a shit when he played. He's still a top 10 player all time.
Was a better player than
Never missed the playoffs in his entire 18, 19-year career.
He's
5 rings.
He's got 4 Hall of Famers that he played with almost his entire career.
But I don't think those guys are Hall of Famers without him, though. I think if Parker goes to another team, I don't think he's as good as he is. I don't think Ginobili's as good as he is without San Antonio.
No.
I think Tim Duncan makes those guys better, too, also.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan, look, we get it. Tim Duncan's a little boring. We get all that. But it doesn't matter. He got the job done. We put so much onus on winning and rings. He has the ring total. He should have 6 rings, honestly. As a Heat fan, it burns me to say that. He should have 6 rings.
Plus back-to-back MVPs, 3 finals.
Tim Duncan is literally a Ray Allen shot away from doing the Jordan thing, 6-0 in the finals. The thing we praise Jordan for, 6-0 in the finals. Timmy is literally a Ray Allen shot from having the same thing.
You can't
imagine that.
The longevity, barely injured his entire career, all NBA, almost ever. He's literally like Aaron Donald-esque. As start
on
to
your top 10 list, how many of the guys on your top 10 list didn't play in in back-to-back-to-back finals. How many didn't even have at least one three-peat?
Oh, did not play in the back-to-back finals?
Yeah. Only one is Tim Duncan.
Bird.
Kareem played in
Wait.
Larry was in 3 straight.
Win
Kobe
finals or play in
straight.
finals?
Shaq played 3 straight. MJ was in 3 straight. All of the greats were in 3 straight or more, with the exception of Duncan.
So Tim's in 2 finals in a row. Okay.
You don't think 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row are more impactful?
Oh no, I agree with you, but this is the thing though. Tim Duncan was always pretty much either in the conference finals, never missed the playoffs. So that kind of makes up for that too. It's kind of sort of like even Kobe had a dip for a little while.
But Zach,
missed the playoffs.
You can't use that argument as a negative to Durant for adding himself to a 73-win team and then not do the same for Curry, who added.
I'm knocking Durant. I'm not praising Curry for getting about. You're giving Durant praise for going to an NBA Finals winning team who had just set the record for wins. I'm saying Curry was the guy, and the defense went to him. With Tim Duncan, he wasn't double teamed. He played post up against big guys. And when he first got to the NBA, he had, at the time, probably the greatest center in the
I'll be
NBA.
honest with you, the guy in my list I might have to look at a little bit more, and I hate to say this, is Bird. Now, I say that knowing that Bird had one of the biggest peaks in history of the game. I argue top 5 peaks in history of the game. Jordan's, LeBron's, Curry's peak, Shaq's peak in 99 to 2002. Bird from 83 to 86, 87, one of the greatest peaks in history of NBA basketball. But Bird fell off.
I'm saying 83 to 87, man.
Because 88, he hurt his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have 4 good years. He had 10 good, great years.
No, he did not. He came in 79. He was dominant. He was the best player in the league by 82, 83. Okay.
Honestly, I know you had the computer in front of you. Why don't you pull up his stats?
No, I know his stats. I know his stats. He
only had 4 great years.
No. Who said 4 great years? I said his peak was like 83, 87. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm not knocking Bird at all. I'm just saying that what hurts Bird. I'm not even saying I'm going to do this. I'm just saying that he's the only guy in my top 10 that doesn't have the longevity factor on his side. He's the only guy in my top 10. Because Kareem has it in spades. LeBron definitely has it in spades. Jordan is Jordan.
You put Kareem ahead of every other great center, all because of longevity.
Well, he's also the scoring leader of all time.
Not real soon. So what happens once he's not the all-time scorer? Do you automatically drop him?
Well, LeBron's right ahead of him on my list anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, but for centers, because you can't use he's the all-time scoring leader.
Oh.
Now he just becomes one of the highest scorers.
Yeah, he could be. But the guys that pass.
Right?
Right. But Kareem also has the ring total also to he has 6 rings also too.
He did it on 2 different teams, so he came and say system or in LA due to Magic or this that. No, he did it in Milwaukee as well.
Once Oscar Robinson got there.
No. You mean when he got there? Oscar was already there.
Yeah.
Oscar was old at that point when he got that ring. Oscar was already older at that point when he got that ring. Kareem was best player. At 71, that was Kareem. That was Kareem was the best player on that team by that point. No, without question. No, we can't use the Kareem. The Kareem thing is not worth using, honestly.
I honestly think once Kareem loses that status, I think Will should go ahead of him. I think Russell should go ahead of Will.
No, Russell. He's the one.
If anything, Russell will get hurt as the years goes on.
I always feel like Russell's so tough for me.
It is tough, but again, the reason why I put Russell at 6 is because I can't penalize the guy for having. Okay, it's not his fault. We had 10 teams in the league. Again, I can't penalize him for that either. You know what I'm saying? He did his job based on how the environment looked at that time.
And he went up against the greatest center time and again and beat him time and again.
Much better team.
Yeah. But see, when you watch Wilt's game, you can see that his athleticism would have translated in any era.
What was
Except today's game, because he'd want to play 82 games, and stars today only want to play like 50.
No, it's just the fact that you could see his game would have translated no matter what.
I agree with you, Kris. I was making a crack
And
against
don't
today's
feel like
Yeah, I know you were. Well, Wilt was LeBron.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You
He
see him
was that.
those rebounds, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
He led the league 1 year in assists.
Well,
that's why, again, I'm saying, if once you take away the scoring title from Kareem, Wilt goes ahead of him.
And it took 30-something years to pass that title.
Yeah, because most people made enough. They didn't want to spend 22 years in the league.
I mean,
the ability to spend 22 years in the league.
Well, but the thing is, I don't know where you have Kareem. Kareem's number 3 on my list. Number 3. I know where you have him on your list, but he's number 3 on my list. So again, I don't know how that changes for me. The guy who's going to pass him next year is right ahead of him on my list anyway. So that's not going to impact how I look at Kareem anymore because the guy on my list is right there, past him.
So what could Curry do to get into Kris's top 10? That's what I want to know.
That's the big question because Curry's probably going to enter mine very soon.
I think it's tough. Him to overcome some adversity in his career.
He did. His ankles. No. He overcame massive
But
injuries.
The fact that a teammate goes down or he can't carry his team, he
can't carry. He lost 3 guys. The NBA took away his star defender, and they lost their top 2 defenders after Draymond Green. And the very game they suspended him. LeBron got the greatest package deal ever to win a ring in Cleveland. And it's like, you're like taking that all the way that he lost when he lost all his teammates.
Like, he lost Clay in that one finals, and they couldn't beat Toronto.
Oh, I'm sorry. You had Kawhi, who was competing with LeBron for number 1 player in the league. Siakam, who was a legit top 20 guy in this league, even today still. Kyle Lowry was what, top 15 at the time?
I don't go that far, but he was definitely good.
Yeah. I mean, you lose everybody on your team, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, he can't carry the team. Come on, man.
In the middle of the series, too, especially. No, I think Steph is, it's funny. I didn't think Steph would be that complicated for people to complicated for people to rate. But as we get, especially this year, we talk to people, on the internet and whatnot. He's much more tougher to actually analyze. Like people have a hard time actually discussing him in the top 10 discussion.
I'll put it in this way: if you look at Earnest's complete list, he's the only dude on the list, and probably Magic, and Magic, to never make all defensive team. The only 2 guys on the list. You have to make at least one third team.
When did Kevin Durant ever make an all defensive list?
He wasn't on Earnest's list.
No, it's not. You mean it's the top 10? You mean the top 10 list?
Yeah. Who's ahead on your list right now, Curry or Durant?
Oh, Curry is.
Curry, 100%.
And where is Curry on your list, would you say?
He's between 11 and 15 right now.
Somewhere in there, yeah. That about to
and
bust.
Durant?
Like between 16 and 20. Probably close to 15, but, So, okay, not in order. 11 and 15 has a combination of Curry, Elijah Wan, fucking Dr. J, probably.
Oscar,
Moses in the conversation. You got Elgin Baylor, who didn't get a ring, but fucking hey, dude, that guy was amazing. Definitely top 20. I mean, guys, a guy like Dirk might get in the top 25, 20 discussion too.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys, but Curry's got most of the resume, back-to-back MVPs. I won't give him the first unanimous one ever because there's a few guys who are 1 vote away, and it was horseshit that he didn't get it.
But LeBron being one of those guys.
Shaq was another one way before that.
But I've never cared whether he won by 1 point or it was unanimous. You were the MVP.
No, but for me, it was
It does say something when you're unanimous, though. It does say something when you're unanimous, though. It does say something that to how good you were that people can't even look away.
Well, who was better than him that year for MVP?
In 2016?
Yeah.
Nobody was.
Okay. No one. So what's it matter if he's the first or he was the 5th?
I think Zack. I think the one thing that people hold against Curry more than anything else is that series. While I agree, well, that too. But while I agree also that you lose Draymond, you lose Bogut in that series in Game 5, right?
Went down.
Iguodala went down.
That was gone in Game 5 and Game 6.
Right.
And then you only get Iggy in Game 7.
Right.
And Draymond, who can't score.
They hold three.
Still hosting Game 7.
Right. They still had a 3-1 lead, obviously, in the series. And people, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that people hold that against him.
He's never overcome adversity to be like, oh, man. Like.
When did LeBron overcome adversity to win the finals?
After the 2011 year.
Of course.
They were the best team in the league.
Not 2011.
Oh, wait. You're talking about Eddie Keith team? Hell no. Fuck no.
Thank you.
I'll never
Kris.
give him
Correct
the Cavs one that we're talking about was, you could say that. But
oh, yeah. Also, I'm just saying that 2011.
So that's getting over adversity when your opponent loses their starting center.
Stop. Everyone's
I mean, come on.
They lost Draymond for one game. Stop.
Yeah, Game 5.
And they lost Bogut, who was their actual starting center.
Stop. He was a shell of himself at that point in his career.
But on that team was pretty important, though.
Yeah. And Iguodala, I guess he was garbage, too. It didn't really mean anything. I mean, the year before, he was Finals MVP. He allowed LeBron to score 38 points a game.
I think Steph is number 12 on my list right now. Right now. Before the series is over.
He better go to 9 or 10 as soon as he picks up.
He may do that.
MVP.
He may. The question is who I take out. The question is who I take out.
What do people rip LeBron the most about? His finals record, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so if Steph loses this one, he's 500 in finals?
Yeah.
So he's right there.
So then he's stuck at 12 or 11.
And then if he loses this one, not only is he 500, he's 500 in the finals. He's also never won that Finals MVP and was only the best player on his team once.
Twice.
Well,
actually, 3 times.
If he loses this one.
Okay.
If he loses this one,
he would still be the best player on his team.
I still think making 8 finals in 6 years is pretty fucking sick.
6 finals 6 years, yes.
That's pretty sick. I don't care what anybody says. It's not very common it happens.
And let's see, the first, what was it? In between the 5th and the 6th finals, they lost Durant and Clay in a shortened season. And then they also lost Steph when he broke his wrist, right?
Yeah.
So what was he supposed to do? Lead his team to the finals from the bench?
I mean, you could argue the Bulls did this too. 6 finals. Technically, look at it from the same that kind of perspective. It's kind of, it's pretty damn good.
If he would have won that title with a 73-win team, that changes his whole legacy. Because now you're putting together arguably the greatest season ever.
Wouldn't be arguable. It wouldn't be arguable if they won that series. It wouldn't be arguable.
That's what I'm saying. So that would have been he would probably been easily top 10 at this point. With that win would have been significant because it going along with that. What's the 18-1 do for Brady's legacy? Nothing. Doesn't do shit.
That's a good point. There's a perspective. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it really helped his legacy at one point because what did he have at that time? Three championships.
Yeah.
If that, it did make a difference to go 18-0 for the regular season and go through the playoffs.
But no one ever
only in the Super Bowl.
But Zach, the thing is, he's won so much titles though. No one talks about the 18 in 1 year.
No one even.
Because everyone acknowledges he's the GOAT now, so you don't even have to bring that up as as an argument.
That's a good point.
But it's just one of those things that that would have been the feather in the cap to say oh look, he also put together they had the greatest season ever in NBA history, and to not have that. Definitely hurts at this point in his career. He has plenty of years to change that narrative, but
plenty of years. He has 2 weeks, so another week to go to change that narrative. In my opinion, he wins his title. I get it. You start winning. You win 4 titles. I mean, 6 to 8 years, 4 and 2 in the finals. I mean, to be honest with you, I think Steph's number 11 on my list. I had Elijah one.
I just always penalize super teams at this point.
But it's not a
super team, though.
Well, more.
Okay, LeBron has done nothing but play on super teams. Every finals he won was a super team, and you give him credit.
Would you call the Lakers one super team, though? One all-star?
With Anthony Davis fully healthy in a shortened season, yes. You're
No,
taking LeBron and AD fully healthy of 2 months.
I'm not saying
time?
a super team is 3 or more. To me, it's three or more. Like 2
Yeah.
All-Stars is pretty much the standard you should be winning a title
But
with
it's
anyway.
not 2 All-Stars. That was 2 of the top 5 to 2 of the top 10 players getting 2 months of rest.
I mean, are we going to use the circumstances against him too? Also, I mean, he can't control that. He can't control COVID. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I don't
Zack,
even give the Heat credit for making it to the finals that year. All right, that COVID year to me is BS. It's total bullshit.
Oh, stop.
I mean, I get it, but
look, it's the same as the Marlins made the playoffs for the first time since 2003 in that COVID year. I'm sorry,
took the playoffs,
it's another bullshit thing.
But that one's a little egregious, though. I agree with that one.
Yeah, but it's totally fair to give LeBron and a brittle AD 2 months to get healthy.
I mean, the thing is that the result. I'm with you. The result, but the thing is, the result's the result, man. The result's the result. So, anyway, we'll get back to. I'm sure we'll touch on stuff again at some point to this discussion. We got a couple of things to touch on real quick. The Utah Jazz. Quinn Snyder resigned as coach after 8 years. First off, I was shocked he was there that long. Actually, it felt shorter than that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't realize
he was the
8 years
longest tenured coach in the NBA. Which
they've had 4 coaches
in
50 years. Some shit.
Is that 8 years makes you the second longest tenured coach in the entire NBA, or third.
What, in the NBA total?
No.
Oh,
Currently.
currently, because Spo was number 1, I think. Now
it's Spo.
Probably Spo.
Yeah,
Spo would have been number 1 anyways.
Well, once Pop retires, he'll be number 1.
Yeah.
Pop's been in fucking 27 years, I think now. 28 years.
He's third longest tenured for 8 years. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And we hear now, of course.
This was expected, though. There were so many rumors swirling about what jobs he would get poached from. So this was expected to happen.
Yeah, I think all 3 of us actually discussed this after the season's over. It's like Quinn Snyder might be gone. We see him. Utah's been, we don't ever talk about Utah much. Like, people don't talk about Utah on their podcast much, but Utah's been kind of that fascinating team post playoffs now. We have the Snyder resign. Now we have Donovan Mitchell. The rumors are now he's a little bit unsettled, quote unquote. Obviously, him and Rudy Gobert don't get along. We just brought up Rudy Gobert's contract a few weeks ago on the podcast. So I say this: what do you see with Utah by the time we get to training camp? Do you think they'll have the same team intact? Do you think Mitchell will be on the train block? Do you think Gobert will be gone? What do you guys see with Utah by the time? By the way, that was Zach's finals pick for the record.
Hey, how'd your finals pick do?
Me? Who would I have this year?
Denver.
They were in the West, right? They were in the West, and I had Milwaukee in the East. I had Milwaukee actually repeating.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Mock my Jazz.
I mean, again, Denver. Oh, I thought we'd get Jamal Murray back. Okay, you had a full team. Fucking fell apart in seams. Both ain't we ain't in the same league, buddy. Sorry.
Are you serious? You had Milwaukee winning, best player in all the league.
Yeah, but you don't foresee Chris Middleton going down either.
No, we don't see that. And they probably in the finals right now.
He didn't go down to the end of the season, so I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but Utah was full strength. What are we doing here? Utah's full strength.
Milwaukee's easily the finals with Chris Middleton.
You were full strength against a Mavs team that didn't have Luka for the first 2 games. We're not in the same. We're not in the same. Zach, we're not in the same league right now, buddy.
You're mocking me when we both had first round exit guys.
Hey, you mocked me for saying the Heat going to the finals 2 years ago was a fluke.
Well, yeah, I didn't know we'd have. I actually didn't even expect us to have an NBA finals.
I agree.
Like, can we talk about that Jimmy shot, by the way, since we didn't get to talk about it last
LeBron
week?
Got AD and AD's healthy. You know what we could do? We could start up the finals and get LeBron a championship. Get the Lakers a championship, and
Chris,
then we're gonna higher ratings.
Chris, we're gonna say.
Can we talk about Jimmy's shot, by the way, since we didn't get to talk about it last week?
Oh yeah.
Well, first with Quinn, I think this is a guarantee that Gobert is traded because I think that's why he left.
Who's taking the contract though?
I think it's the same thing that happened with Jerry Sloan.
It's immovable.
I heard say the Bulls are interested in him though. I heard today.
It's the same thing with Jerry Sloan. They had their top guard, and they're trying to cater to him, and they don't play defense. And you had two coaches that care about defense on their team, and they're like, "Fuck this bullshit."
Yeah, but Donovan Mitchell came out and said that he needs to work on himself, get back to his roots, because he got drafted as a defensive guy. Coming out
Yeah,
we
he quit
built,
playing
scrappy
defense, and
guy.
yet you guys still think he's a great defender.
I didn't say that.
No, he was literally
2
like
weeks ago when we were
No,
talking about these
I
trades.
asked you a
he
question.
asked if he was two-way.
Yeah, and I said no, and y'all both said, "Oh,
And I said okay. And I said okay. Than
No,
that.
I said, you look at the stats, and stats are very bad in his favor with teams attacking him on the defensive end. But
he tries, but he's just not a good defender.
He needs to refocus. That's what he's focused on. The fact that he can look at the team and instead of bitch about the team's play, he looked in the mirror and said, "I need to get better," is the most important thing. That's all you can ask for from a young star.
Yeah, I agree. So the Jazz.
You also have to decide whether or not that's true and genuine, or just saying the right thing, so that if you were wanting out, you don't look like a troublemaker.
Same team and run it back, and that's all we do.
So you guys, your thoughts? You think the Jazz are the same team come back next year, or you think you see a major shakeup?
Gobert's gone.
No.
The question is where?
There's no way of them.
Gobert's going to Dallas.
You would have to give away 4 first-round picks for a
all
team.
you'd have to do is sign Jalen Brunson to a big contract and trade him to him. Because I'm willing to bet they could use an actual point guard to run their system. And just let Donovan Mitchell play off ball and be a shooting guard.
But Conley's still there.
That's actually the only move I think for me that makes sense basketball-wise in terms of Gobert being out of Utah is the Dallas move. I agree. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. That contract's just fucking...
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3 more years of the contract, 3 more years, and $50 million at the end. Ugh.
No one's touching that.
One-way player, I mean, he's a fantastic defender, but that's where it ends.
He's a great role. He can do the role on a pick and roll pretty good. Look, he can't shoot outside. All right.
He's a lob finisher, absolutely.
I mean, that work with Luka probably.
But even in today's NBA, he's actually not the best defender because he can't come out on the pick and roll. Like, if you have a true stretch 5, he's gonna sit there and fucking torch him all game long.
Right. I think Mitchell's gonna ask for a trade.
But they're not gonna concede. There's no team that can put together a package for him.
I think he's happy now, honestly.
Wait, you think Snyder's a problem?
No, I honestly believe they told Quinn Snyder, look, we're keeping Mitchell and we're trading Gobert. We are going to keep Mitchell and try and work with him. And he's like, he doesn't play defense. I'm out. Because if he really wanted to leave, wouldn't he have left before the Lakers job was filled?
No, because I don't think no one wants that job.
So where's he going to go? He just wanted out? He didn't even want to collect a paycheck for a year?
I think he just, if he gets fired, but
he's not fired. He resigned.
That's what I'm saying. He resigned, but I'm sure probably getting bought out too with it. Like, at the end of the day, he might just take a year off.
The only other option I could see is maybe he thinks he's going to Charlotte. That's it.
LaMelo Ball, growing team has some cap room, probably going forward. Yeah, I can see that. Charlotte's one of those teams that could be on the way up.
It's kind of like Utah when he took over that job. I mean,
we'll see about that. Speaking of coaches, Lakers got a new head coach, Darvin Ham. Do you guys see that press conference and Russell Westbrook was in attendance rather?
I skipped it.
Yeah, so Tampa just scored 2-0 Lightning. See, I knew after game 3 it's gonna be an issue. I was petrified this game tonight. I was petrified this game. Anyway, Darvin Ham, new head coach. Obviously, he was a Bucks assistant. This is his first coaching stint. I mean, he looks the part. He looks like a guy that's no nonsense guy that don't take too many money. But again, you're playing the Lakers. You're coaching the Lakers, and the LeBron part. AD can't stay healthy. The Russ stuff. Front office is still always want to get in your shit. So, what do you think?
I think he's lucky.
Go ahead. He's lucky?
Yeah. Go ahead, Kris.
So for me, with new coaching hires, there's 2 trains of thought.
Okay.
Either you have a reach, which no one gets excited for.
Mm-hmm.
So they go away from that. Former player on the younger side. You don't know what you're going to get. Just like Ime Udoka, you didn't know what you're going to get. with a lot of these guys. You just don't know what you're going to get. Now, it's more fun when it's like you're plucking a guy from somewhere random. So, like David Blatt, they pulled this guy from Israel. Just give him a chance. See how he does. So that's more fun to think about because this guy's straight out of the box. The last out of the box hire, do you remember who that was? Nick Nurse.
That's right.
They plucked him from the G League. Well, it was the D League still at the time. And he was unproven. He was a coach in the D League, won 2 championships there, took his teams, to a bunch of good records. They plucked him. Dwayne Casey gets fired. They promote him from within after being assistant there, and he takes him to a finals and wins it. First one ever. So, like, those get me excited because these are guys that you don't even know what to expect. But him, it's a standard player coach, probably. These guys who are closer to the player's age than the rest of their coaching staff is probably going to be like, catered to the stars. And
but
we'll see what happens.
I know Barkley had that take also last week too, and I spoke about it in the podcast last week. That's overrated though. 48 years old is not that young.
No. And see, okay, so I'll start. I think it was an absolutely outstanding hire.
Okay.
He was with Coach Bud back in Atlanta.
Was he really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's how far back it goes. So he has paid his dues. And how many times do you see a first-time head coach get a quality of players that he gets to coach? Okay, you can just pretend Russell Wilson isn't on the roster and
Westbrook.
not even deal with it as long as AD is healthy. If AD is healthy and LeBron are healthy, that is a gift from God for a first-time head coach in the NBA. Because normally, first-time NBA head coach, you know what they get? The Orlando Magic. They get that.
You know all too well.
So,
you know all too well. Yeah. No, he's right. Let's start here. If AD and LeBron are healthy, this team's a contender. Period.
Playoff contender. Not
no, agreed. The West is much better now. They need more help around the edges. But because this is who AD is moving forward, we can't rely on that anymore.
Yeah, but you see with the signings they made last year that guys are willing to forego money to join their team. So
are they this year?
You will be able to fill out the rest of that roster. Now, hopefully, they'll do a better job than they did.
Who gave up money to go play with the Lakers last year?
None.
Malik Monk. Malik Monk did.
Malik Monk. These are young dudes.
Monk didn't get. He couldn't get a contract from anyone.
Oh, stop!
He will now. He will now.
You're
crazy. Was good last year.
You don't think Kendrick Nunn turned out money to take that?
Yeah, Nunn had some good value coming out of Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't play.
Yeah, but how much did he offer? How much did Miami offer him? I forget.
I don't remember, actually, to be honest with you.
Doesn't matter. Like, guys that are that young taking, like, barely the minimum, those are the contracts that don't exist. Like, they took less money to learn winning ways from the best player of their generation. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the surface, I mean, we have nothing to run on, really. It's his first job.
That's what I'm saying. It's tough to know what you're going to get. But the past has shown that these guys, have been doing pretty good. But you can look at it. Is he going to be Steve Nash that just let, the inmates run the asylum? Or is he really going to be able to implement a certain system and style a la Steve Kerr?
But that's not fair. That's not fair to compare him to Steve Nash because Steve Nash never was even an assistant for one season.
Well, that's what I said. So he could probably be Steve Kerr. Like, Steve Kerr came right in. Just took over the league.
Top 5 all time.
Yeah.
So to me, it's
according to you anyway. According to you.
So he could easily do the same as well. But I think his most important duty is ego management. So that's why, to me, it's like, that's what he's gonna do. I'm glad he got Sheed on his bench though. That should be interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Elephant in the room though, because he was praising Russell Westbrook, calling him, has more in the tank, and that he's still one of the best players of all time. This is amid all the rumors about Westbrook, the Lakers trying to move him. Is Westbrook on this roster come October?
Yes, no one's taking that. Even expiring $47 million, you have to move mountains to get rid of that.
Yeah, I mean, unless they buy him out, He's going to still be playing on the Lakers.
And they'll buy him out probably in the middle of the year, not right now.
They're not going to. You eat that $47 million and you say,
year.
What's worst case?
Oh shit!
Oh crap! Hold on, we lost Kris.
Fuck! I hit the wrong button. God.
All right.
What's the worst?
There he is.
What's the worst case scenario? Like you throw him in the bench and becomes a sixth man? Like that could happen.
And not only that, Westbrook is playing on a contract. Technically, this is a contract. This is a contract year from now. So I'm sure he wants to make more money moving forward. So there's a motivation in him to want to play better and buy in. So you're getting that at least now too.
Possible. I mean,
right.
But if he turns into a cancer and says, "I'm not coming off the bench," this and yeah, it could be.
No, but again,
the
leverage. The Lakers have a leverage on that situation because you eat the $47 million, but his I'm sure Westbrook wants to be able to make more money going forward beyond this year, whether it's in LA or somewhere else. So he needs to kind of acquiesce and kind of just buy in.
He went to UCLA, like that's his like dream team. Like you wish it would have worked out better, but.
Right.
When Robin don't know he's Robin, thinks he's Batman for his whole career.
But
gonna change.
But I do agree with you guys that I think Russ will be on that roster in October. I do agree with you on that one. All right. So Colin Cowherd did a 50-minute podcast over the weekend, and it's basically focusing on. He basically called it top 20, last 20, and he revealed in his opinion, the 20 best players in the NBA in the last 20 years. Obviously, that's 2002 to 2022, obviously. So, should I read the list down from 1 to 20? Should I go 20 to 1? How you want to do this?
Go 20 to 1, probably.
Okay.
The back end was terrible.
Okay, let's go. Let's do from 20 to 16, real quick. If I can move this down real quick. Here we go. Okay, so here's 20 to 16. Okay, backwards. Number 20, Damian Lillard. Number 19, Jason Kidd. 18, James Harden. 17, Steve Nash. And here's a shocker one for everybody. Number 16, Draymond Green. Did you get it wrong? Right or wrong with it?
Yeah, you got it wrong.
Where's it wrong?
Lillard shouldn't be on the top 20 to begin with.
Okay.
Just straight up shouldn't be. Draymond, probably at the tail end. 19.
No, he's not on this list. Draymond's not on this list. He's on the list.
If Draymond's on this list, he should be number 20. I understand what Cowherd was still trying to do.
He's such a Warriors goal. Like,
and with this list, you could tell it was so present focus because to put Jason Kidd that low over the last 20 years.
Yeah. And what's even worse is that the 2 years Kidd went to the finals with the Nets are in the 20 years sample. So that's a knock. That's definitely a knock. I agree with you now. The Kidd should be a lot higher than that, honestly. Draymond, if you put Draymond on this list, he should be number 20. Okay. You're telling me that Draymond's more important than Klay Thompson?
If Draymond would have played like he did that first championship throughout the rest of his career, absolutely. Because what revolutionized the game was the 1-5 screen, pick and roll between him and Steph. Really changed the game. And then his 3-point shot fell off a fucking cliff and has never come back. It's never come back, which is unreal. Like his shot
maybe it was just a fluke that one year.
Yeah, at this point you have to call it that because he went from shooting like 37% that year to being the ultimate weapon to just
I agree.
So if his career stayed that same trajectory, not even plateaus at that year, you could absolutely put him on that list because he's more impactful overall, but he's just a scheme guy. You put him on any other team and he's useless. He is a fringe bench player.
I can't.
Wow.
I can understand.
Any other team, he's a fringe bench player.
Yes.
But with Steph Curry.
I'm
just going to leave it there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No, it's not with Steph Curry. It's with the Golden State system.
That's Steph Curry.
Let's switch everything on the system.
Right. So, based on this list here, I can't put him no higher than 19 on this list here.
All right, I'm fine.
You can't put Draymond ahead of Nash, Harden, or Kidd. I know we don't like Harden that much, but Harden, what he's done with those Houston teams though by himself, you gotta give him credit for that.
On over Dame Lillard, you can't.
You can't put Dame Lillard on this list. What has Lillard done?
carried a Portland franchise on his back.
To what?
Doesn't matter.
Conference finals.
Doesn't matter. He has no other team.
One conference final.
Yeah, the West is tough though, man. Look, you're talking about Spurs, Warriors, Western Conference. I mean, that's dominating.
How many times did he even get out of the first round?
He's the Chris Webber of this generation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
I don't remember Chris Webber even being on their top 25.
I mean, I'm not gonna like sit here and just like defend Damian Lillard. You know, should be in whatever. It is what it is. I'm just saying that Draymond Green should be no higher than 19 this list. Okay,
guys who carry franchises are not below dudes who are like excellent role players in the perfect situation.
Right. So here's the next 5 here, and this is why I take a lot of issue with Colin here. All right, so 15 through 11. Number 15, Dirk Nowitzki. 14, Allen Iverson. 13, Paul Pierce. 12, don't get scared, Zach, Kyrie Irving. 11, Kawhi Leonard. I'm sorry, Dirk is way too low.
That whole thing should have been flipped.
Come on, MVP,
Dirk 11,
Finals champion.
Dirk is arguably top 10.
12.
Top 10 scorer all time, Dirk.
Dirk should be in the top 10 anyway. Dirk should be number 10, should be in the top 10. First off, let's start there.
Oh, in this list in particular, yes, yeah.
Iverson, so the 01 year does not fall into the 20 years. So let's start there.
Yeah, and after that, it was downhill.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
if we're playing technicalities here, he's not in the top. He should be on the bottom 5 here.
Absolutely.
I'll give Iverson top 20. Yes, but to be in that 15-ish range, no. I put I could argue. I think we did our top 25. A couple months ago. I can't remember. I had him. I think I had him like 14 or something like that. Maybe a little higher, but no. Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce again.
No.
Maybe a little high, but not much high. I think he should be a 15 player because I think Paul Pierce is one of the most clutch players.
Should both be ahead of him. I also think Dirk should be ahead of him.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce got stabbed 8 times.
No, we're not saying Paul Pierce is not a top 20 player. Paul Pierce is a top 20 player. Let's be clear. But I would put Kidd ahead of him. I would put Nash ahead of him. I'm sorry. I'll put James Harden ahead of him. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I would too.
No way. Oh my God.
Wait, how much did Paul Pierce accomplish before he got KG and Ray Allen?
The multiple-time All-Star. It's carrying that franchise.
One conference final. That's it. That's Milwaukee in 2001.
Yeah,
that's it.
With Antoine Walker as the second best player on his team. Stop.
Well, Walker's pretty good back then. Walker's pretty good though.
Steph's team.
Stop.
According to Colin, anyway. Kawhi number 11. Any issue with that?
Yeah, availability is the best ability.
He should be in top 5, top 7 at least.
Oh man.
He should be. He's not.
Kyrie's no leader.
But Kyrie is probably the best Robin on this list, arguably. That 2016 performance saves his ass, really, because I don't think he should be in his top 15 either.
He's one of those players that, based on his pure talent, he'll always be ranked higher than he should be because he could be the most talented point guard of all time.
Yeah, he's your favorite player. He's your favorite player. That's why.
Enough.
No, but he's the most aesthetically pleasing player to watch in the league, though.
When you see the way he finishes, how crafty he is finishing around the rim, his handles, his shot, he is so talented, but the heart's not there.
He's too high. Sorry.
But he's always going to be rated high because of the way he looks, not the way he plays.
Right. It's the aesthetics more than anything else. He's your favorite player's favorite player. It's real. Kawhi would be top 10 if he was available, but he's not. So it is what it is. All right, here's the next 10 from 10 to 6 now. Number 10. Don't get too excited here, Kris. Chris Paul. Number 9, Giannis. Number 8, Kevin Garnett. Number 7, Tim Duncan. Number 6, Dwayne Wade. Duncan obviously is way too fucking low. He should be in the top 5, honestly, or arguably top 5. Arguably top 5. I put Timmy ahead of Dwayne. Now the argument I can make here for Timmy being low, that I don't agree with Colin here, is that so Tim's probably best top years were outside the 20 years. Maybe the first 6 years of his career were probably better than the next 5 or 6.
No, because
and that's why.
The 2 years he won MVP were the years that Jason Kidd went to the finals, and that's included. That was
There you go.
03, 03, 04, yeah.
No, I agree.
That's
Timmy
back-to-back
should be in the top
MVPs.
5. Timmy should be in the top 5. I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
Timmy's
saying
number 4 should be number 4 on the list.
Dwayne's a little high.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it being number there, but maybe 6 to 8. Giannis. Now Giannis has had the least amount of years played in this 20 span, but we do this again in a couple of years. He's going to be in this top 5 conversation. Right, he's number 9.
That fine.
Well, yeah,
overcoming that hyperextension of his knee to come back and just obliterate the Suns is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. KG, a little high, a little bit.
Very high, very high.
I agree.
Like I would put Giannis in with KG honestly at this point.
Yeah,
he has the ring to match him. I mean,
he's got the defensive player of the year to match him, and he's got something KG doesn't have: multiple MVPs.
Yeah, Giannis is too low, a little bit low. So I put Giannis on 8 there, honestly. All right, the next 5, the close it out, 5-1. Number 5, Kevin Durant. 4, Shaq. 3, Steph Curry. 2, Kobe Bryant. Number 1, of course, LeBron James. With this 5 here, I don't see any issue really, honestly. I mean, I would probably put this is what I would do. I would put Duncan at 4 or 5. I put Duncan at 4, Shaq 5, Durant at 6, and then Dwayne at 7. That's why I shake it. Shake up against at number 4. Really, the top 3 is fine for me.
Yeah.
So, and I know you would probably switch Kobe and LeBron, Zach. I know that.
I probably would.
Yeah.
Look, we're talking those years. So you essentially start from his first championship, right? So he's got 5 championships.
No, Kobe. You lose 2 Kobe titles there with Shaq already. You lose the 2000, 2001 titles. So you get 2. You get 1, the 02 title, 3-peat. You get the 9 and 10 titles with Powell and company.
That's tough because Powell's the second best player on that team versus Dwayne Wade, Kris Bosh, Kyrie.
Agreed.
Wow, Pau Gasol was a monster. You guys, he's so underrated.
Oh, I love Powell. I love Pau Gasol.
This guy was taking the Grizz to 50-win seasons
So
with Stroll, Miles Swift, and White Chocolate on his fucking team. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
You would take him over Dwayne Wade.
No, of course not. But it's not as far as it's 100%, 1,000,000%.
About Kyrie Irving.
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Zach, do you understand how
stacked
the West was at that time when he was taking them to top 4 50-win seasons in the most stacked West?
Guess I also have more love for White Chocolate too.
That's your second best team. Oh, come on.
That's funny.
Hey, didn't he win a ring with the Heat? I mean, he became like a 3-point shooter with the Heat.
He did get win a ring. 06. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. He was the starting point guard.
He was the backcourt with Wade. Yeah, he's starting with Wade. So I mean, Cowherd's obviously a little bit of a prognosticator, so he's a little bit of a favoritism here, but I don't disagree with the top 3. The top 3 is easily set in stone. I have no problem with that. But it is what it is. All right. What else on the list here? A little NFL talk here. Aaron Donald got paid finally. It's 3 years, Zach, not 2. 3 years he got extension.
But
at 90-something million.
2 years, and then he can decide.
Oh, is it a player option on 3rd?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
He can opt out and retire, or he can opt in and collect the money.
So $30 million of the guaranteed money in that deal rely on after the 24 season. So that the last year of that deal, if he declines it, he loses $30 million guaranteed.
No,
he
gets $40 million guaranteed up front.
Yeah. He gets tons of money, but they did tie a lot of guaranteed money to that 3rd season to make it harder for him to retire. He's playing 3 years.
Hell yeah.
No, that's not the guaranteed money. The guaranteed money is the upfront $40 million.
No, but there's still $30 million guaranteed tied to that last season too.
He has the option to opt in and get the 30. It's not a guarantee because he could, if he retired and it was guaranteed, he'd get the $30 million.
No. If you look, it's a weird structured contract, but he deserves the money. He's been the most dominant and defensive player of this generation. 100%.
Like I told Ernest, the way they set it up so that it's a player option in the third year, it's giving him the option to retire. And I think that's what it really is. He wants to retire in 2 more years.
All right. So it's a total value of $95 million, $40 million more than he was previously supposed to make. It includes $65 million guarantee money, which outpaces $6 million for Stafford here. Let me see here the structure. Let me see, nothing here. Yeah, that's it. So $65 million guarantee. Okay. Basically, if he opts in for the third year player option, he can get all that money.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Basically, a three-year career. I think he's gonna retire soon. In 3 years, I don't think he'll play a long. How old is he now? 31, 32?
31.
So 34 years old. That's a good year. Good age to retire and keep body in check. So yeah, I think retires. I mean, they had to pay him. Obviously, he's been so good to that team. He's arguably made a play of the game in the Super Bowl against your Bengals, Kris. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean,
that was a no-brainer. If there's a guy who deserves that money,
right? Him. The Rams right at this point now are playing in a 2-year, 3-year window of fuck them picks. Who cares? Draft picks. One of those. So
I think they're playing like a 3-year Russian roulette too. Because Matthew Stafford's contract.
Yeah, they have.
Now you factor in Ramsey's contract, Darnold's contract, Cooper Kupp's about to get paid.
They're doing it right.
But the thing is, here's the thing though. They're doing that, but they've done the thing the goal to win the Super Bowl. They've done it already. So what they've done has worked. They hit that goal. So we can't say.
Donald said he would have retired pretty much in any year if they don't win the Super Bowl last year. But now he's addicted to winning.
Well, and this is the thing too. Also, too. This is another. Here's the thing also too for Donald also too, and for the Rams in general. The NFC is weak, so the trek to the Super Bowl is easy. Like outside of Tampa should be good, obviously, but how good? The losing players, obviously. The Packers are going to take a step back a little bit this year. So who in the NFC is really a threat?
Yeah, even their division, you have Kyler saga going on. The whole San Fran thing's blowing up. Seattle literally blew up. So yeah, I mean, their division, which was last year the hardest division, now has weakened significantly.
Barring injury, they are the most stable team in that conference.
Yeah. So
that's that. And finally, before we go, we had 2 major names fired in Major League Baseball in the last couple of days. Managers. We had Joe Girardi on Friday last week, fired by the Phillies after 4 years. Again, another job that I forgot he was there 4 years. That surprised me. And then today, Joe Madden fired by the Angels, who are right now in the midst of a 12-game losing streak.
Mike Trout 0 for 27, over 28, I believe.
Really?
In that stretch,
it was his worst streak in history.
Yeah,
and that's Joe Madden's fault.
Well, no. So here's my logic to it.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm.
The Phillies underperforming. They fired Joe Girardi. They win 3 in a row. That was the spark they needed. They needed that spark to turn that season around. And that small time frame, the Angels said, "Fuck, we went from first in the division, and in one losing streak, we're 8.5 games behind Houston. So we need a spark. We need something to change. Let's just fire. If it worked for them, fuck it. Let's just try it out too. At this point, that has to be the reason.
No,
was he that bad though?
You're hitting the nail on the head right there.
Okay.
They saw it as covered. They didn't want to be the first team to fire a manager. So now you had a 12-game losing streak. A manager's been fired. You got all the cover in the world.
Yeah. He is a big name though. I mean, he's arguably one of the best managers in the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
It's shocking to me to see that.
It was a terrible decision. Like that was an overreaction.
You think so?
Yeah, but whereas the Joe Girardi one, and I'm happy you corrected for the show,
Right.
that you said major instead of elite.
Right. Well, Girardi was.
Girardi,
Yeah.
that is a guy who has been given way more credit than he has ever deserved as a manager.
This is true.
It just wasn't working in Philly, and they have spent a ton of money. So you had to get rid of him.
This is a guy I was wanting in New York for the Mets. I remember 4 years ago saying I want this guy fucking managing this team, and I was so pissed I didn't get him. And make it worse, not only did we not get him, we lose him to our rival.
Be grateful because DeGrom could have ended up out of the league by now. He would have killed his arm. He would have destroyed Noah Syndergaard's arm, Steven Matt's arm. He doesn't know how to manage pitchers.
Right. But the issue with the Phillies, no matter what, is they're literally the worst drafting team in the league for the past decade. And that's why they have the second longest active playoff drought, because they have mismanaged their draft picks so horribly. And every player that actually turned out good, they traded before they could to harvest the talent. And they
was it now 9 years, 8 years?
I never say Philly is a bad drafting team. When you get Strasburg, you get Harper, you've gotten so many players over the course of your time. You want to see a bad drafting team? Look at the Marlins.
Statistically, the Phillies are not even close. They haven't made the playoffs since 2011, so it's 11 years now.
Wow, we're the Ryan Howard years, right?
But they had so many top 10 picks, and literally almost none of them have even suited up for the team. They've done horrible. So
I mean, both guys will have jobs, I'm sure, by next year, right?
If Joe Madden wants to, I think Joe Madden is at the point where he can choose what job he wants. So if the right opening comes about, he will take that. He is the top creme de la creme of like coaching candidates at this point in baseball. He's proven it between the Rays and the Cubs. He's proven that he chooses his jobs now.
The Angels are so bad though. Like no matter what they get, they have the best player arguably in the history of baseball. They get Pujols at least for the very tail end of his peak. You know, they spend money on these pitchers early on in the decade, and they still can't figure it out. Every time they get one of the best managers in the last 15 years, they still can't figure it out. It's weird.
Own deal is just atrocious. They've made some horrible. The Pujols deal is atrocious. Like, man,
it was the Pujols deal was bad because of the amount of years they committed to it. But
you have to. Baseball has the worst free agency in all of sports.
They have the best.
The worst, because you have to wait. You have to play 7 full years, and because of service time manipulation,
that part,
full year.
Yeah.
So the problem is, since you only have one clear shot at free agency, you have to get that 10, 13-year deal.
Hence Aaron Judge.
And these teams have to overpay and give them years when they know they're never going to recoup.
And Kris, Aaron Judge I just realized he's turning 31 by the time his free agency hits next year.
Yeah. But guess what? New York could have got off cheap giving him money on a down year last year.
Right.
And I'll bet on myself.
But the thing is, here's the thing. Somebody's going to pay him.
Yeah, it's going to be the Yankees.
It's going to be the Yankees.
You think so?
Could you imagine the fan base turning on the Yankees?
I would love it. I would love it. As a Met fan, I would love it.
The Yankees
you traded for Stanton, who was getting paid $325, and the back end of his contract is when it explodes in price. So you can't offer Aaron Judge real money? Come on.
Yeah.
They're gonna give him like whatever he wants.
$400 million.
Because at the end of the day, the Yankees have never let homegrown talent walk because of money.
They have the money they print money.
Exactly.
They print money. You know.
They'll never let homegrown talent walk.
Is there anything else that we're forgetting before we go? Anything else?
No.
No. Anything else going on really?
Ready for NBA draft talk soon. Orlando Magic. One pick. Who they take?
Jabari Smith, baby. Jabari Smith.
I saw a thing today. I don't know if it's true or not. I just saw a rumor thing that the Magic are looking to put up the number 1 pick for Zion.
Stop.
I'll give the number 1 pick for Brandon Ingram.
But you know what's funny is Jabari Smith and it's not his player comps by any website, but in my eye test, he looks exactly like Rashard Lewis. Like, I feel like that's what he's going to turn into. If you look, like 10% of his points came from the paint as a 6'10" guy in college.
Right.
He's a strictly perimeter based guy, but
But that's all the NBA drafts now.
What I'm saying, he's a today's game, modern day four, stretch four, face up game, not post up. But he reminds me a lot of Rashard Lewis.
I love this game.
He's be way better than Rashard Lewis.
Well, obviously, Rashard Lewis.
Lewis had one good year as a shooter in this league.
He was such a nightmare to match up though against Rashard. He hit the ball from three, and he was so long and lanky. You know.
Yeah, he'd shoot 9 threes a game and make 3 of them, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's amazing! He's 33%."
He was ahead of time. If he was in today's game, boy,
he'd be fucking.
It doesn't matter today's game or not. He couldn't hit the 3. He was jacking them up like it was today's game.
Yeah, when he was hitting them, him and D12 were taking Orlando to the finals.
Dude, that 2009 year, though, he was such a nightmare to match up with. Without question.
Between him and Hidu.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Anyway, Kris, anything to plug? Oh, yeah, you don't plug anything. You don't have social media. Zack, FSC Know It All on Twitter. That's all you got. And, of course, at the, whatever, the fucking alcohol place, whatever you call it.
Total Wine.
Total Wine. Good job, guys.